Hello everyone, my name is Muir, and we are once again getting back into Final Fantasy XIV. The critically acclaimed! No. So we are getting into Heavensward post-game, also known as the Dragon Song War. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. It's been quite a while. Hello Alphano. Gratuitous timing is always fun. Tataru and I. So I was about to brief you on the search for our missing comrades. You'd be so kind, then? Absolutely. Be pleased to hear that Riol and his men have been making excellent progress. Do you remember how Flahaman helped me escape the Crystal Braves and Limsa, only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound to Radzatan, where she's been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Ida and Papalima, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane of all places, Riol thinks they must have disposed of them after escaping from the Royal Promenade. Yes, that would make sense. They could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain that they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Menphilia? I'm afraid I have nothing to share about those two. But it's not all doom and gloom. Good news is, we've enlisted the services of a Sharlayan scholar, one of the students of Baldessian, to aid in the search. We should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should like very much to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first we must attend to more pressing matters. Sir Emmerich has summoned the two of us to a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, then, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith, and mayhap we can meet the scholar afterwards. Agreed? Aye. In that case, I'll return to the Forgotten Knight for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know? Oh yes, Tataru. To the Holy See. Alright, he's over there. It has been a hot second. He's next to the Forgotten Knight. Forgotten Knigget, as they were called. It's the clan hunt. That's this. I stay this. Temple Knight Guard?
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities. I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new Archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number question our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order. But such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Shrine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Shrine? You would speak with Vidofnir then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor? Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
I like how they just, like, look at each other and then just know to both nod at the exact same time. Like, okay.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I'd forgotten how good the writing is in this game. Right. Lucia. I know little of these lands these dragons call home, this Annex train. Had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it. Yet even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? Ah. But ere we set forth, Fen and I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well. I shall see to my preparations. And let us go bid farewell to Tataru, then. To the Forgotten Night we go. There you are, Tataru. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. We tell her everything. A diplomatic mission to Annex Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence. But should your meeting with Vidalvanir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Ishola in Edelshire. She'll be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... time permitting, as I said. We shall endeavor to join Ishtola, but we cannot pray pass... But if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. But as we often, we have kept the first commander waiting long enough. Indeed. Are you ready to go, then? Good. So am I. Excellent. Let's see. They'll get bonus experience. And... that one. Alright, Alphino, let's do this. The path is long but known to us. From Falcon's Nest we shall cross the western highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Dravanian Forelands. There we can stop to rest, replenish our supplies. Questions? If not, then the stables await. They do indeed. But not for me. Somebody call an ambulance. I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Dravanian soil would be at the head of an army. And here I am, ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Well, full do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past. Though it was I who first proposed recruiting Izael to our cause, I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them. And for a long time after that, here was a woman with the blood of innocence on her hands. Men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in a common cause. At our side, she fought in service of the greater good, even unto her dying breath. And while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered, not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alphino. Yet who can say what might come to pass, should our negotiations bear fruits? Yes, of course. We must press on to Annex Shrine. You'll follow me. Was he? I mean, he walked in generally the correct direction. If you don't want to get your feet wet. There's not one over there, is there? Like in 7.0, they added like laning to your one-seated mounts. On to Annex Shrine we go. And they're above us. It up near. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of Azael. But this one I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit, Vidofnir. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friends. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed. You may speak, knight. 1,000 years man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war. But now we know the truth. That King Thordan and his Knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the Great Worm, Retatosker, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light, the Azor Dragoon, and Azael. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace could at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Azael once did, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more, for the eyes of my people in Ishgard. An unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, knight. However, I cannot yet give mine answer. Why, may I ask? This matter concerneth my sire. He must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Noth grow bold, even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. For 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Fear not, knight. Thou shalt have mine answer within thine lifetime. So soon. My humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith, until we meet again. Who's a good dragon? Given the circumstances, I would say that went rather well. To be frank, I'm surprised the proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you need not wait for me. Return journey holds no fears for me now. Well, if you have no further need of our services, we shall continue on to Charlian. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. And I pray your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was. And thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remained unresolved. I can think of no greater matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice it to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphino. I only hope that the fates will not hold you to your word. Indeed. So, it would seem we have time to greet this scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Ishtola in Edelshire. Alright, I'll be right back, everyone. Okay, let's get back into it, shall we? So she's down here somewhere. Hello, Ishtola. How you doing? Finn, 'tis good to see you. I confess I had assumed your business in Annex Train would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidalfnir go well? As well can be expected. She must discuss Sir Merrick's proposal with Hraesvelgr, of course, but she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What about Charlian Guest? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained to her that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside the front bridge. We should be on our way. The front bridge. Well then, let's do it.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kral, who has recently come from the Charlian motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, sir. And who is that I spy but young Alphino Levieur himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Cryle and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Cryle.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
One of those silly things with episode 14. Everyone just nods one by one. All right. Well, they either nod one by one or they nod in unison. Hello, Muir. How are you? We are checking out the Dragon Song Wall. It's a lookout thing, right? Ah. Saint Mocan's Arboretum. Very nice. On to Master Matoya's place. Yeah, the rating of FF14 is pretty good, and if I remember correctly, people always talk about the Dragon Song War and Heavensward being where the writing really starts to take off. In A Realm Reborn, they were really just rushing to get everything done. And she's below here, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, and in A Realm Reborn, they were really just rushing to get everything finished. I dare say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? Maybe, Cryle. I've heard so many stories about Master Matoya. Some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured, they are all true. This way. We have a cave where you tread, and have a care where you tread. Alright, let's go see what we got.